It's going. Yeah, it's on. We're on.
Right?
Yeah.
Hello, Facebook world. Welcome to Fun Frolicking. We are here on the Temple of Frolic channel and Love Coach Academy and Intimacy Playground and Light Touch and growing. And so happy and grateful to be here. We are a lighthearted, conscious variety show. We go a lot of different places and we dive into some really deep topics. And we always try to bring a little bit of fun and add just like a little bit of flair to it. I am Candace of the Temple of Frolic. I'm right now in New Hampshire, where I currently reside. I personally I feel like I am a certified frolicker. Everything that we talk about here is something that I am very passionate about, personally and professionally. And so having these opportunities to dive deeper into these conversations is just it's so nourishing. So I hope that this conversation is just as nourishing for all of you out there. And please do share with the little share button and let us know if you're watching. Chime in with the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what's alive for you around where we go and the topics we bring up. And yeah, so today I have two amazing co-hosts, and we also have a special guest. Remember Careza and Jay. They've been here the last couple of weeks. I'm so grateful to have you guys. So with that, Careza, would you like to introduce yourself? You
Sure. Yeah. Sure. My name's Careza, and I'm an eco-conscious play, sex, and intimacy coach at the Intimate Playground. And I love working in sexuality and helping people expand, their intimacy and sexuality with themselves and as a couple. I also work with Candace. I voluntarily assist her as a virtual assistant, and we'll be collaborating our two businesses together and working together to create events as well in the near future.
And we have Jay Mayer of Light Touch. Would you introduce yourself, love?
I'm Jay Mayer of Light Touch. And Light Touch, it's a practice. It's a meditation practice that's great for couples and it can be used individually. You don't have to be in a relationship to use Light Touch. It's for everyone. And it's a wellness practice to align us with our higher self and to activate good fortune and even miracles in our life. So it's really fun to improve every situation through learning how to invoke and create beneficial outcomes with these techniques. And we'll talk about that more later.
Thank you, guys. And so today we are going to be diving into what and I know that our fellow guests and hosts, many of our guests, also see as our core essence, our sexuality. And when I say sexuality, I am talking about the energy from which that we all come from. And how can we be more expressed within that? And what happens? What is it like when we're not fully expressed? And this idea around when you're not really showing up for yourself in your sexuality, and your sexuality being like the core essence of life, are you really showing up for yourself? Are you showing up for life? Are you really playing with life to the degree of which you really could? And whew, just like the word sexuality, like it's just like a big word, it's a big thing. And we could go on and on and on. But today, and I'm very grateful to have you guys here as, two people who are, equipped in understanding sexuality as an energy, as well as wanting to help empower others and getting creative and finding ways to explore these other dimensions with themselves or with those they choose to. And so before we invite Jenny on, so I would like to hear from Jay and Careza what's alive for you around this topic, and then if we could beam Jenny in, love to hear from Jenny after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can start if you want. Yeah. Well, sexuality to me is everything. It's everything I do. It's life itself. If I couldn't work in sexuality and do what I do, I would be dead inside, to be honest. I'm a very emotionally just non-existent person, because it's everybody's birthright to have an extraordinary sex life and be able to bring it into life itself. It's not just about, having an orgasm and, touch and, all the physicality of it. It's really about, being ecstatic, bringing that, sex energy into work, into how we communicate, how we just live everyday life, and really, living ecstatically and orgasmically, rather than, kind of closing it into just orgasm or just this physical experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Orgasm, that's a powerful topic. We're talking about sex, and sex is like an ocean. I mean, it's so vast, and we've had so little formal education. We had sex education in high school, and that wasn't really, what we needed. What we needed was to learn about it. Wow, how magical is it? Like, it feels magical, and if we can access any of those magical properties, then we use sex on a whole other level, where the orgasms can create for us. They can create healing and abundance and wellness in our relationships. So that's the goal for me with Light Touch, is to harness that energy, to explore it through slowing down. If you think life is about orgasm, I mean, sex is about orgasm, then, sometimes it's better to appreciate, the slowing down aspect, lingering. Light touches, you just linger in those pleasurable sensations and send requests. So it's wonderful. It kind of moves the energy through all the chakras, and the sexual chakra is the fuel to help us, to create better outcomes and results.
Yeah. Yeah. I second everything you guys are saying, and it's, definitely a reminder, and hearing Careza saying, she would die not being able to do this. And I'm so grateful that
Yeah.
This is my playground, you know. This is the area where I've been able to play for 8 years with myself and so many people, and I love helping people access and get that internal felt sensation of what we're talking about. Because it may sound really out there, and I get that. I totally
Yep.
get that. Okay. And that's why we have coaches and guides and tantrikas and all these people. Like, I didn't get here by myself. It took a lot of coaches and teachers and guides.
Yeah.
And I still, like, this is an alive topic for me today as I feel like a newly blind person reapproaching dating and relating and different relationship styles and like so do we have Jenny here?
Yeah, I'll bring her on right now.
Cool. So I'll let Jenny introduce themselves, but Jenny is a friend of mine. Oh, yeah.
She's I think she's still muted.
Oh no.
Do you want me to unmute?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Hi. I'm so used to doing seminars and stuff. I never know when I'm supposed to be quiet and when I'm not. It's always safe just to mute. Then no one gets hurt.
I know you. I'm glad you know how to do that.
I know how to keep it quiet.
I imagine you've been listening in, and I'm very grateful you're here. Jenny is someone that I met through a class where we were both pursuing our own personal expansion around sexuality and growth and learning about ourselves. So I'm so glad you're here. So what's alive for you around this today?
Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm excited to be here with you. I'm excited about the things that we were exploring when we were calling each other and stuff. And I'm always interested in meeting new people in these different areas. And you can see how they overlap too. I do a lot of business development, and I'm really interested in, game changers, global leaders, people like that, people that want to do regenerative culture. And sexuality is really important in it. Now, when I had short hair and I was wearing a business suit, men would listen to what I'd say. But if I have dreadlocks, which I've had, I wasn't really taken seriously. And if I dress like this, I get come-ons, right? And there used to be a point where I would just be like, okay, well, I guess I'll just get things done. Aren't I cute? Don't you want to do this for me? And the truth is there is some power in that, and yet it's a misdirected power. It's not really something that's being harnessed where the two of you are coming together and you're creating this thing. There's a grabbing of the energy that actually happens. And one is I'm either dangling and pulling, or they're, that's their, and there's not this creation, this co-creation. And I've had a lot of ritual. I've had a lot of ritual types of sex in which we were co-creating something, whether we were taking our focus and we were harnessing it to do, bring more people into consciousness in the area, having some inspiration afterwards to do something relevant to maybe a project that we were working on. I know this sounds strange, and I don't know how many people talk about this, but that's where I'm at. Sexuality and sacredness back into business. It's really important. Thank you for asking. That's what's alive in me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, and that's what you brought up is a very clear example of how sexuality plays a role in everything, in everyday life, in everything. It doesn't just happen in the bedroom. And so I'm glad we're talking about it outside of the bedroom. And you know, creating these safe containers. You know, one of like these societal norms and beliefs, and then there's what do we want, and no right, no wrong. But what we're talking about here, you know, is finding what is your hell yes. Is dressing up sexy as hell to make business happen what feels good to you? Great. If dressing down or dressing more masculine feels good to you, great. What feels good to you? You know, Jenny did what felt her to right for that was good for each given moment in her life. And now this is where she is. And maybe tomorrow she'll be in a different place. Totally cool. You know? But yeah, there's so many ways. And then there's the natural elements of nature and human connection. And then there's those big magical elements of creation, which essentially that's what sex does. And so can we essentially take that creation energy to manifest, to make things happen in our lives? I know Jay is a very big fan of making stuff happen with energy and touch. So, and yeah, what's going on for you over there?
Well, that's using touch to create. You know, there's a message in the fact that when our parents touched each other, they created us, and we were born, and we're here today. So if we realize that when we touch things, that there's a creative power in that, and the key is to be able to touch ourselves. You know, like the electronic part of us, the part of us that's alive, the indwelling spirit. And, you know, a lot of times when, you know, people have orgasms, they go, oh God, maybe that's the only time they're calling on God. But subconsciously, they're wanting to use the sexual energy to invoke the spirit, which is what light touch offers, is the ability to reach into the invisible realms with our timely requests that we need, you know, so that we can have wellness in our life and so that we can nurture others. Because when we help ourselves, that helps everyone around us. When we relax a little bit, it helps our parents, it helps, you know, our boss, everyone. So we're trying to relax into the blessings and be a blessing for others. So I think the more we learn about how powerful orgasms are, and it's not something to rush towards, but it's something to glide alongside. And as you can master the orgasm through slowing down, that's how you master the orgasm, is that you know, that's not the goal. The goal is to be near the orgasm and go, thank you for miracles, thank you for money, thank you for anything, because it created us. So maybe, just maybe, it can create other things besides children.
Mm-hmm.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
I think about that a lot. I work really long hours when I'm working. I might do a long stretch of maybe 10, 12-hour days, like meeting, traveling, meetings in the car, meetings on the train, wherever I'm going. And it's like there's only that time. There's just that one space where orgasm meets that I'm not thinking. I'm just not thinking. And everything's quiet. And just it is whatever it is, and there's no pushing it, there's no wanting it. There's no deliverable. There's no what's going on. It's just nothing. It's just nothing and everything at the same time, you know?
Mm.
I think that's why so many people can become addicted to, you know, sex. And because, you know, especially if there's lots of stress, you know, you've got a lot of masturbation and stuff happening with porn on the internet. And truth is, you know, just people, you know, when they're stressed out, this is what they're doing. You know, it's something that happens as a stress response.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
definitely. Is it okay if I come in?
Yeah.
On the topic of orgasm, I think, you know, it's such a beautiful thing, and you know, you talk about how orgasms heal, and you know, there's like 10 different types of orgasms, and people love to know, you know, how to get there, but you know, it's also important to note that can you, as a man and a woman, can you enjoy the process of lovemaking, of being intimate, without having that goal of getting there? And if it happens, it's a beautiful thing. And if it doesn't happen, it's still a beautiful thing. And I think people are so stuck on this idea that if it doesn't happen, then they're a failure, or, oh, I didn't come, or I didn't please her enough, or we were supposed to do this. And it's all like in the head, you know, like a story. And not really being in the body and experiencing the moment. And I think that's also an important bit as well, because it's not always just about orgasm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but about like the connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the ways I like to express to my clients is like, there's nothing wrong with orgasm. Orgasm's great. And but what I also want to teach you is about the ingasm. Like what are you doing? Like instead of just projecting that energy out and no, you know, what about playing with that inside? Both, you know, us with ourselves and getting that deep and intimate. Like when with a client, like, can you really just receive me? You know, like just lay back, do nothing. You have nothing to do. There's nothing you have to do. You have no one to please. I'm going to take really good care of me, and I'm going to take really good care of you. Your job is to just take it. You know, it's hard. And I think especially if you tend to run a lot of masculine energy. You know, I don't want to say if you're a man, you know, says,
yeah.
I can tend to run a lot of masculine energy, and I can tend to be a doer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an interesting, fascinating topic. And you know, just to be able to talk about sex in a forum, it really is the thing that people want. We want to know more about it. We want to discover it. We want to break through the taboos and, you know, the cultural censorship. You know, what's more beautiful than a woman's breast on the earth? Ask any baby what it wants. You know, it's a beautiful thing, but violence is okay and nudity isn't. So that's a clear picture that something isn't quite the way it could be here. And it makes me nervous that violence is so predominant in the movies. I personally would rather, you know, see consciousness being expressed in intimacy. And I think that's what everyone wants, really. Like Caressa was saying, it's the orgasm without the intimacy. Because after the orgasm, the intimacy might be gone.
Yeah.
You know, it could go that fast. I love you, and then it's gone. Or I love you, and I always love you, and I'll never stop loving you. And that's one of the benefits of light touch, is because it's about the intimacy. It's not about, you know, having the end experience. It's about continuing in the love.
Mm-hmm. And then you feel at that. I think the other piece I meant to say with the orgasm is you're taking, like, we do need to orgasm. We do need to let out. But taking the time to fill up, fill up yourself with that energy. And it also, on a tantric level, it gives your body the time to really grab hold of what's ready to let go and be released, and to really expand into your full capacity of your orgasmic potential, both on the physical level I'm talking about, as well as energetically healing yourself and moving energy. Yeah, so much we can do. Yeah.
But I mean, could you imagine though, if everybody was having beautiful, expansive sex and orgasms and pleasure and intimacy? Do you believe that, all the violence and wars would disappear?
Yes. If more love, men and women loving each other ends war. That's what we teach. Love each other.
I say we try it.
Yeah. I think, one of my thoughts around that, like, yes, I would say yes, but first we got to get to the media, because, like, even as I sit here now, I can't, like, I'm like, oh my God, and as we prepare, I think I have to make this choice every day. When I put myself out there, being open and wanting to help the world and work with sexual energy, it's not allowed, and there's people, not everybody is going to approve, and I can't change that, so, but I am, there is, like, we're here on Facebook, and what I can say as somebody who's been in this for 8 years now, there has been some great expansions as far as, like, social media goes, and helping create different platforms so that we can be more expressed, and having safe containers, like the events that we talk about doing, because the Facebook Live isn't the place. We can talk about this, but yeah, it is. I can't deny the part of me is, it does get sad, that we can't be open and we get judged. But I understand,
I love how beautiful you are, Candace. How you just tell it like it is, and
Yeah, that's what drew me to her when I met her. I contacted you outside of the group. Yeah, it was 2 people. It was really neat to meet so many really interesting people. It was a great forum.
Yeah, we ended up, I'll just share that we ended up in an experience where we were there to expand and find our liberation and heal sexually, and we ended up encountering energies that actually creating some contraction, and we had to pull away from the container, but we came together. So I'm actually getting chills, like, as I'm saying this, that's the thing. There's so many ways, there's so many pathways to expressing our sexuality. I made a video earlier about this and talking about dominance and submission, and the different relationship styles. personally, I play on all different realms. And but the reality that and this stuff gets judged as, oh, that's fetish, that's kinky, I'm not into that, or whatever. But dominance and submission happens it happens all the time. We're playing it out all the time. And what I like to do with it, both personally and professionally, is really hone in on the primal, most innate needs of us as a human that we're seeking to be fulfilled in these DS containers. So for me, right now, especially with feeling so vulnerable and going blind and blah, 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 my little girl is really alive. And so there are I would call it like sacred BDSM, sacred kink like containers where I can really let myself be that little girl and be safe in that, and have that little girl be seen and helped. And so some people only see DS as physical, sexual, kinky, but for me and how I use it, and I've seen it because I've been in it, we are all working out our emotional stuff through these relationships. Yeah.
That's why so many different types of relationships are important. I've got, I suppose I have a slew of different people in my life, maybe a cast of characters, I should say, that just, they fulfill so many different needs. I don't know. I spent a lot of time, I was married, divorced, several relationships, and when I was married, we had an open marriage and that worked really well. And then my next relationship was 18 years and he was no, it's just me and you. And I tried really hard to be monogamous and I was very unsuccessful and caused a lot of pain and suffering. And I've tried my whole life to try to do the monogamous thing and I have not been successful at it. And so I found that the most important part was after I got out of that relationship, I was like, all right, this is how it's going to be. I'm poly. This is how it is. Like, I may have another husband. I do have a husband now. And he understands clearly how life is. I think our relationships, as we get older, they start to evolve. Maybe many people out there, if they just came to the conclusion that, geez, I can't really just stay with one person, that's a real thing, and not keep trying or keep hooking up with people that are. And I'm really seeing an expansion in the younger people where they're coming out with their sexuality. They're having newer rules with relationships that seem more, like relationship anarchy. I'm a fan, and having, different partners that do different things. I got excited. I was like, what is this world? Like, I had no idea. And I came out to my kids and they're like, Mom, we actually know. Okay. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And seeing that the kids that are coming out now, they're like so more intelligent than we are. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, but like, we were just like, I came from the sexuality that was still being oppressed, where gay people were being brought in the alley and being beaten. So there was no way I was telling people that I was stealing my parents' girly magazines when I was 13. That wasn't happening. And I wasn't, I wasn't confused about my feelings when I was a teenager and I had to have the sleepovers, but I didn't have anyone to talk to about that, So it's so glad to see platforms like this where you can talk about things like that and talk about the changes that are coming in relationships.
Mm.
And this is one of the first times really that we can come out and be talking about these things in an open forum, with, who knows, hundreds of people, thousands of people watch the show sometimes. So, our message is important, because the taboos that our culture are stuck with, they're just taboos. They're not necessarily the truth. The truth is that sex is the most beautiful experience in existence, and it created us. So the more sacred we make it, the better it's going to work for us.
And whatever, if that involves invoking divine energies, or spirit, or just simply dropping in to revering one another and seeing that goddess energy in one another and yourself, taking the time to really slow down and make love to yourself. Yes, get yourself off, have fun. Yes. But also take some time to make love to yourself and touch yourself the way that you would want someone else to.
That's interesting. Is that the demo you're going to do, Candace? Sorry, hoping.
Candace, it's a bit past halftime now. So if you wanted to do your meditation or...
It's past. I feel like we're in a really juicy conversation. Do we have, is there anyone out there chiming in, communicating?
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
He says he's a friend of yours as well.
Yeah. Hey, Roger.
He's waving.
Oh, he's in here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's waving.
Okay. Cool.
No, he's not
Well,
in. I can see him.
So, and I know we had James earlier and Roger. So to anyone out there, what's going on in your world? And what's your sex life like? What's your sex life like with yourself? What's your relationship to sexuality as a whole beyond those little moments in time we share with ourselves or someone else? Does this just sound like woo woo woo? I get that, but we're also talking about our human body, our most natural human experience. And Jenny, I wanted to send a thank you. Hearing you say that you talk to your children about this is like this is the kind of change, like Jay was talking about. And like if sex workers weren't shamed and shunned, and parents and children were given more opportunities to have these conversations, like, oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be great? If somebody had trained our parents, it says in the Bhagavad Gita that you can have a really blessed life if you have a yogi, you incarnate with spiritually advanced parents. And I grew up I was born in the 50s, and that was like sleepy town, I'm telling you. And and then everyone got into drugs. That's when all the 60s and all the drugs came out. And people, we need education, because drugs and sex kind of go right along with rock, with music. But we need to learn. You don't just play music; you have to learn how to play music. And the same thing, like the body is an instrument. And when we learn how to touch ourselves and invoke what we want in our lives, this is a good topic. Is sometime I'd like to talk about fantasies, because we're taught that that's normal to have sexual fantasies. But if our fantasies serve us, if they help us to have a better life, then yes. But it's a slippery slope. Yeah. So, that's what Light Touch is about, is the fantasy is that we're going to draw health and abundance and divine love into our lives. And even, I believe in the angels. I call them the angels. Instead of foreplay to warm up for sex, I use foreplay to call on the angels. I go, oh, thank you for miracles, for first touches. And that's different. And that they didn't teach us in school. It would have been nice if somebody had mentioned it once or twice,
Thanks for your juicy friends, Candace. I'm sitting on my pillow.
That topic of fantasy, Jay, I have been thinking about it. I've been fantasizing about it. I'd love to do a show on it, but as someone who is single and I don't have lovers or partners, and I engage with self-pleasure, and for me,
woohoo!
What I may call taking myself on a tantric healing self-pleasure journey may look just the same as somebody pleasuring themselves while engaging in fantasy. What I'm doing, though, with myself and on the inside here, even if I am engaging in like thinking about a specific physical act, there is an energy and an emotionality that I am bringing to the table for my own expansion. Or for me, one of the things I love to do is I love to imagine people making love to me and sharing words of affirmation. So sometimes, I'm just with myself and I'm giving myself prayers and blessings. And then sometimes I'm engaging in this practice and I'm imagining either specific individuals or a fantasy faceless individual. And they're giving me whatever I need or want in that moment. Whether that's spiritual, emotional, whether that's of a BDSM nature. And that's my, it's like manifestation, meditation, kind of experiences. And especially now as a blind person, I can't watch something anyways. So I'm not distracted or deterred by the physical that much anymore. It doesn't work for me anymore. So emotion and energy is just, and that's really all we are.
Yeah. Definitely. Also with intellect, it's not just about the physical body, but can you turn me on intellectually? Can you feel, can you emote? Can you, get into yourself and bring out the emotion in you as well? And beautiful. Feel your partner,
Intellect is quite a turn on.
Yeah.
You can be so turned on physically. That's what happens is people fall in love with people that look the way they think their mate should look. Oh, his hair, his butt is so great. It's like, okay, fine. Now you're having children with a stranger. You're raising with someone that you're not even connected to. Just because, you like their hair, they're smiling. And these people, they're so sweet and they try so hard to win your heart. And then, but who are they?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, let's win each other because of who we are. Not how we look or how we, come on to people. So that's our authenticity is the world. If we want a better world, we have to make better choices. we find the people that are looking for us, and they're the right ones. I call it divine appointments. When I touch myself, I go, thank you for divine appointments, because that's who I want to hang out with, people that have been sent, to me. We agreed to meet each other. Oh, I'll meet you in California, right now, or in the 60s, and that's meaningful. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's something to be said for sapiosexual. I'm sapiosexual.
Yes.
You must stroke my brain before anything else. If you're not intelligent and yeah, if you're not intelligent, it's not happening. I think the fastest I ever jumped in bed with someone, I'm gonna really say this. we were talking about quantum entanglement, and
Wow.
and he showed me a video, and I had my clothes off right after that. And hopefully no one's watching right now that knows that story.
Oh,
Hi, Mom.
Candace left.
She's like, oh my God.
Oh.
Where did Candace go?
Candace left. I don't know. It just dropped. She just dropped out.
She'll be right back.
Damn batteries.
Yeah.
Can I say damn? Yeah, I can.
Oh, Roger, you are funny. It must have been such a turn on. She may need to pleasure.
I'm taking a cold shower right now. We're going to show the shower cam.
Where is she?
I have a friend here with me. She's off on the side. You can't see her, but she was in the chat for a minute, but her computer died, so she's listening. I'm just letting you know that.
Oh, hi.
Hi. She says hi.
Someday I hope we have an adult conversation about monogamy and what people really want. Like, that's great to be monogamous, but you got to be monogamous with the right person.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that are out there that love you and adore you and would just die just to hold your hand, and know that they're in a monogamous relationship with some stranger they met that had great hair. Now they're raising kids together, and now I'm in a relationship. It's like, yeah, but I think Jesus said we're supposed to love each other. Everyone, if you're in a relationship or not, we should all, now I'm not talking about sexually, but we should just, break through these barriers of separation that, well, the nuclear family endorses. I'm more of a tribal. I like the tribe, having an extended family where we're choosing our family. Global tribe, yeah.
Yeah.
My family.
There's different reasons you have monogamy. I mean, I think I had a relationship that it was monogamous for 18 years. And the reason it was monogamous is because he was insecure. And he was terrified that I was, I don't know, having more pleasure with someone else, or more I couldn't have friendships where I could hug them, or I couldn't hang out with them, or I couldn't go dancing. I couldn't, these are all the things that I live for. And I just realized at one point that I wasn't getting enough touch, and I wasn't getting enough mental stimulation, and I wasn't getting enough dancing, and I wasn't getting enough. It's not that I wanted to go out there and sleep with this person or that person. It was that he pushed me so hard that I did, because I was just like, okay, fine, I did it, and now, and then he punished me it was like a strange punishment. And of course, I stayed in it. So there was something to the dynamic that I was wanting to experience and learn, and maybe afraid and whatever. I learned a lot. I learned one thing in 18 years, and it was, I'm not responsible for your happiness. I take the word amazing. It took me 18 years to learn that. Very slow learner.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the same thing. I mean, I was married and in a kind of sex semi-sexless marriage, and he didn't even want to talk. He didn't want me to talk about sex or question it or bring it up. And I work in sexuality. It's something that, it's sacred. It's powerful. It's meaningful. It's everything that I am and I do. And I want to help, change the world with. And he would not let me talk about it. I could not have a conversation and be open about needs or wants or, feelings coming up. He just didn't want anything to do with that aspect of the relationship.
Well, was he like that when you were courting and dating?
No.
He was like Mr. Attentive, Mr. Ask Questions, Mr. Engage. But see, that's the beauty of light touch, is that intimacy, it can continue. You don't have to lose that, even if you've been married 18 years. With light touch, there's techniques where you can rekindle the flame and connection.
True.
But that's interesting. Tell us more about your marriage, or not.
It's okay. Oh, Candace.
Candace
is back.
Yay! Yeah. Go
Candace.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My phone died, and so I have you guys plugged into the wall now.
Candace, you're ruining the fantasy right now. The fantasy was that you were so excited about what I said that you had to have some alone time, and that was what was happening. That was what was really happening, right?
I fantasized that you were having a cold shower because of what she said.
So I guess I missed some good stuff. Am I in there?
No. We didn't really say anything very good. We were waiting for you.
Okay. It was still live?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So guys, what'd they do while I was gone? Were they naughty?
We're talking about past partners.
Tantric way, I hope.
Past partners, past relationship.
What?
Past relationships.
Oh, that's where you guys went?
Yeah.
They're in the past for a reason, you guys. Why'd you go there? This was a great conversation.
I know.
Well, what we were saying was that it took me 18 years to realize that I wasn't responsible for my partner's happiness.
Oh.
Which was great.
Yes. Self-responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of self-responsibility is also giving other people responsibility, putting responsibility back. And educating ourselves and one another, around our needs or our lack thereof, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. Yeah. And yeah.
Well, what makes sex sacred? What's the difference between sex and sacred sex?
I think all sex is sacred. And I just choose to engage in, I would say everything I do, is sacred. Maybe not everybody else would, and maybe sacred to some people means invoking spirit or alternate energies, and maybe to some sacred is just dropping into reverence and loving one another and seeing one another as divine.
True.
Well, there's just one thing. When people have sex and there's no words that are exchanged, you don't know what your partner's thinking about. So there's this magical energy that sexual energy is, that's creative, and it creates babies, and you can create money, and you can create healing and spiritual wellness. But if you don't know what your partner's thinking, they could be thinking some kind of obtuse thoughts that aren't even loving or connected. And that's why with Light Touch, we like to know. We bless each other. That's what's sacred, is that we bless each other with the pleasurable sensations. And it adds to the wellness that is accompanied with it.
And I think,
go.
Oh, I think, like, you're talking about the difference between sex and sacred sexuality. I think for some people, sex is just about themselves. It's about, getting in, getting out, and they're not aware of anything else except getting what they want. Rather than as a sacred or conscious sexuality, it's more about everything, embodying everything and feeling the emotion, going inside each other and really seeing the core of one another, whether it's sadness or happiness or fears or doubts. You can feel it all. And it's really, really, feeling that those feelings or energies or whatever you want to call them, and really, expanding it and really being in the moment and loving and, having a dance, of play and, just there's so much deliciousness in that.
Yes. I'm imagining it's probably just like 5 of or something now.
2 of.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Cool. So I just want to say one last closing thing. If everybody would like to say a little round of closing statements, and if Jay could close us with a light touch blessing. But wow, we could go on and 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 on. And this is me, this is a big part of who I am, is helping others around love, sex, dating, relating. And so whether it's on this show or in a session with me or in an event, it's going to involve something like this. And I'm so grateful to have Jay and Careza here, and to have another awesome guest, Jenny, and looking forward to what's to come. So stay tuned, guys, because we are planning some amazing events, and possibly a new regular show or event that we're doing. And I'm also looking for some demos to be a part of receiving my services virtually, absolutely free, to show others the magic that can happen even in a virtual container, and how we can really connect with one another. And so I'm so excited. We'll see you guys next Friday. And I think that's it from me. Anything else from you guys?
We have magical powers inside of us. We exist. That is magic, my friends. We know that it's magic. There is magic in this world. This is magic. It's magic. Even though they can define how it works, it's magic. And so sex magic, I didn't come up with that term, but it's magical. It's a magical principle. And I invite you all to explore it. Send blessings to each other. Bless yourself. Bless your partner. Thank you. Use gratitude with touching. Thank you for miracles. Thank you for money. See if you can create more money. You need it. Don't just have meaningless sex. Have profound sex. Through invocation. Make it special every time. Take your time. There's no rush. Slow down. That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't put so much pressure on yourself, One person doesn't need to meet all your needs. You can meet your needs yourself. Don't be afraid to do these things that makes you happy, because when you're happy, you're making other people happy too. And don't beat yourself up over those relationships that didn't work, because sometimes you might learn this one thing that changes your life. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And, you know, to have pleasure and to be able to make love is our birthright, and nobody should ever tell us otherwise. You know, our sexuality is a path that is a journey. It's constantly changing. Our needs change, our wants change, our desires change. And that's really one of the beauties of sexuality as well. It's constantly flowing. It's constantly alive. The energy never dies. You know, it's part of life. It's part of creativity. It's part of everything in life as well.
Yeah. And even if you don't have a partner, remember
Yeah.
you got you and nature. Nature
Yeah.
is a great way to connect with that life force sexual energy, to really start to see and feel that orgasmic life experience of the ingasm we're talking about here. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next Friday at 8 p.m. Oh, and also, not tomorrow, Sunday, Careza will be presenting us with a little impromptu little dance game exploration. So you can find the info for that on my profile. You can look on Temple of Frolic, or on Careza's profile. You can find all of our information across the board here. And yeah. Is there anything else you want to say on that, Careza, love?
No, I'm just excited just to share like what I do, talk a little bit about like what conscious play is, and share an experience on Sunday. So
yeah. And I think Jenny volunteered to be a demo, so you guys might be getting some more Jenny, because you know, both Careza, myself, and Jay are working on many different things so that, you know, you can still receive our gifts and our offerings, both, you know, in our private sessions, which do cost, but also trying to create other ways for us all to receive the magic. So, and thank you, Jenny, for being here. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Herbal.